Everybody, it is your travel agent David, and we're on our last day here on the Mermaiden Voyage of the Brilliant Lady, leaving New York City and going to the Royal Dockyards in Bermuda and back. So this is my cruise review. So I'm going to go over the following things. We're going to go over the cabin, the boarding process, the ship layout, activities on the ship, the shows, the food, the overall guest services, the cleanliness, the port, and then the casino hack that I've had to figure out the hard way. So let's first talk about the boarding process. Boarding process was pretty smooth. At New York, the port opens at 10 for baggage collection, so you can drop off your bags early, which we did. We did the early check-in where they scanned our passports and stuff. We got our band. They didn't activate it, but we got all that done, and then we had to come back at our designated boarding time. They allow you in 15 minutes early, so ours was 1:45, so we could get in at 1:30. So you just got to make sure that you have your boarding pass downloaded to your wallet or somewhere easily accessible so they can scan it when you come in. If you do all of that, you can bypass the long check-in line and get right on the ship. If you don't do early check-in, once you get through and they scan your boarding pass, you're going to go into the check-in line. You're going to get your bracelet and then be able to check in. So it's very handy. So we didn't have to keep our bags with us until 1:30. We just dropped them off at 10 o'clock. Once we went through that, unlike Royal and Carnival stuff where they kind of sit you in a different area, we went right on the ship. So that's the boarding process. Was very good, very easy. Once we did that, we came to the cabin, and our bags were already out front, which was phenomenal. And then we came right on into the room. The room was pretty much what we expected. We knew how to work the tablet. We knew all the technology and things like that. However, for some reason, the cabin, the thing that's changed is the bathroom. We had the exact same style cabin on the Brilliant Lady. The bathroom was a little bit more spacious. It's kind of like a legit bathroom. But we just got the typical cruise bathroom here, but still worked out nice. It's nice to have the rain head shower. You can just work a little bit better in there. And they got the wand too. I don't use the wand, but for anybody that uses the wand, they got that in there as well. And that's pretty much the cabin. So what we do with our cabin attendants is every morning when they come to make the room, they find a $5 bill. And then we just go to Walmart and buy like those $1.24 pack of like Mike and Ike's and Skittles, M&M's, stuff like that. And we leave one on our bed every day. So it's just a little thank you for them for their extra work. And it goes a long way. You need something for your room, and they're going to be like right on it. Our cabin attendant, so what we do when we cruise is we always put like little pictures of our travels on the door. Just to kind of decorate it a little bit. We put a dry erase board out there. Our cabin attendant's an artist, and we found that out because we came back, and every day he's taken one of our pictures and he's drawn it on the dry erase board. So that was pretty cool. But our cabin attendant's very nice, very friendly. Room's very well done. No issues with the cabin, so it's very nice. The ship layout. So the ship layout is just like every other Virgin ship. So if you've been on another ship before, it's going to be the exact same thing. The only difference is they got rid of the record store and they've popped it into the back of another store, which is fine because it wasn't a lot of records anyway. But other than that, the Lick Me Till I Screams, in the same spot. The draft house is in the same spot. Gun bay is in the same. Everything is in the same spot. Okay. So you got your regular choke points, right? So the pops and bubbles over in the galley, it's there still blocking traffic. The Lick Me Till I Scream, it's still there blocking traffic. In fact, they tried to turn the line around, and the pizza place is right next to the Lick Me Till I Scream, and both lines were so long they were converging, and it was just a big mess. It was a horrible layout. Up on the top deck where they have the cabanas that you can rent, you still have the like 4 foot of space between it and the wall for everybody to try and transverse. There's a couple places where you have to go down, over, and then up, and it's just it is what it is. It is the Virgin cruise ship, and that's what their shtick is. So it sucks, but first world problems, right? Activities, if you've been on Virgin before, exact same activities. If you haven't, all day you're going to have trivia, bingo, or putting puzzles together. They have no real entertainment during the days. Today they did have line dancing. They had line dancing another day, but those things are like little sporadic stuff. Most of it's like the physical stuff, the HIIT training, the yoga, things like that. During the day, the gym stuff, they have that. But there's just not a lot of activities around here. This is an adult cruise ship. I would expect it to have some like adult fun. Like have a Mr. Brilliant Lady competition or Mrs. Brilliant Lady competition, and like get some guys or some ladies together, and they have competitions amongst the guys and then amongst the ladies, and the crowd picks whoever the winner is, something like that. There's no beer pong around here. There's nothing. All right, there's nothing. It's a very boring ship. When going to the casino is the highlight of during the day. That's pretty sad. And it's not just my opinion. I've talked to dozens of people on this ship. In fact, this morning I was at the pool talking to about 5 people, and they were all saying the same thing. And the people next to us, they have been on 5 cruises with Virgin. They were talking to somebody, this is their first one, and they were comparing all the issues with Virgin and how the ship is and how boring they are long term and stuff. So the person from Dallas I talked to today, the first 2 days were good. The last 3 days they've just been bored. So there's not a lot of activities here. At night they have the shows. The Dual Reality, insane. That is a phenomenal show. You gotta check it out. But the venues are very small and the lines are long. If you're familiar with this ship, they were having bingo in the red room. The line to try and do bingo and get the bingo cards went from the red room all the way through the casino and out and around. The events that they're having in the Manor, it's the same thing. The lines are going through the casino, around the corner. Some of them, they were like going both ways and kind of just meeting in the middle. It's just insane. It sucks. They don't have stuff spaced out enough. They don't have enough frequency, and you're going to spend an hour in line to get into a show that's 45 minutes long. Just not very good use of the time. Even the pajama party, there was a line for the pajama party. It started at 11 o'clock, and the line by 10:30 was starting to go out the casino. So it's just it's not a good setup here. They don't like I mentioned it before in my last video, Virgin's based on entertainment, right? Music. But they have no clue on entertaining on a cruise ship. It just sucks. So if you want to be entertained on a cruise ship, you probably need to stick with Royal or Carnival or somebody that's like geared towards entertaining. But Virgin really misses the mark on this one. Food. The galley food's pretty much the galley food every day, all day. The salads are still the salads. The bento boxes are the bento boxes. We went to Pink Agave the first night. If you're thinking that Pink Agave is a Mexican restaurant, it's not Mexican. It's not Tex-Mex. I consider it like Iowa Mex. They don't even have chips and salsa. They don't have chips and queso. They don't have. You cannot just get nachos to eat before. And they have 5 main courses. One is steak. One is duck, and I forgot what the other three are, but they don't have like burritos and quesadillas and fajitas. So it's not a Mexican restaurant. It's a fake Mexican restaurant. Then we ate at the Extra Virgin. That was really good. Last night was Gambay. Gambay was really good. It's our favorite place to go on this cruise line. We're going to go do the wake tonight. So that'd be, we ate dinner in town in Bermuda that night. So we're only hitting 4 restaurants this trip. The other thing I do like, I like the social club. You can get hot dogs. You can get wings there. You can get some other little snacks and some floats and some candy and treats. So it's a nice little pickup stop that we partake in. The coffee shop, the grounds, my wife's been getting coffee there, and my sister-in-law, and they like it. So if you're a coffee drinker, that might be a good place to go get specialty coffees. They do cost money, but apparently they're pretty good. Overall service. The Brilliant Lady was our first Virgin cruise, and the service on that ship was so horrible. So horrible. The only good experience we had was a cabin attendant, because we're paying them and giving them some candy. But we go to the Pink Agave. They just threw plates down. They weren't even our plates, and we had to literally grab somebody and say these aren't ours, and so they could go get us the right food. The Extra Virgin, we were sitting at the bar in the Extra Virgin eating there. Couldn't even get a refill on drinks. The wake, the food came out overcooked. It was bad. Here, 180 degrees. I don't know if it's because we're catching them when they're fresh and new because it's a Maiden Voyage, and the Brilliant Lady, maybe they're all down to the end of their cruise contract. I don't know. But on this ship so far, we have not had any issues with service at all. The only issue I've had with service is the fact that not all the bartenders know how to make certain drinks, right? But other than that, that's the worst that's happened, so I'm going to be okay with that. So I'm going to give them a good check mark for overall service. Cleanliness, the ship's very clean. I mean, they're everywhere cleaning. I see the same people all over the ship, just cleaning. They're wiping everything down. Like Houston and I were sitting at a seating area that had a table in front of us. Had nothing on the table, and she just came by and she's like, "Excuse me, I'm just going to wipe this down real quick." Nothing wrong with the table. They were just very clean. So they get a good check mark for cleanliness. I'm going to skip the port for a second. We'll go to the casino. I was trying to play in the casino. Nothing bad. I'm just going to tell you this, just in case you're having some issues, you can figure it out. So trying to charge to the room, it kept failing. So I talked to the guy in the casino that works the machines. He's like, "Hey, you gotta go get services. Probably something wrong with your credit card. Go get services. Nothing wrong with the credit card. Everything's good. Come back up. Try it again. Same issue." Talk to the guy. I'm like, "Hey, I'm still having the same issue." He's like, "Well, talk to guest services. It's got to be an accounting thing." So go back down. Talk to them. Everything's good. Go back up, and then guest services is like, "Hey, if you're having another issue, tell the people up there to call us with whatever is going on." So go back up there, having an issue, talk to the guy, let him know. So come to find out, because if you have sailor loot, it causes issues. So you have to burn that $100 or $200, whatever you got for sailor loot. We had $100. Had to burn it, or you have to go to the casino cashier, and then they can bill $100 to your account. And then you go in and you log in and go that way. So if you're having some issues but you got some sailor loot, I'm going to just let you know you got to burn your sailor loot, or you got to go to the casino cashier at the cash cage and get that worked out. Now, let's talk about the port. We went to the Royal Dockyard, and we got there like 6 o'clock. Okay, everything in the Royal Dockyard, everything in the Bermuda closes at like 5 or 6 o'clock. So when we got there, except for bars and restaurants, so we got there, the entire ship's trying to go to the same bar, to the same restaurant, stuff like that. So I'm like, well, maybe it's because we had to leave from New York. Maybe it's just so far away that it's just how it works. Well, the Vision of the Seas cruised in our last day there. They cruised in at like 2 o'clock. Right? They're coming from Baltimore. maybe a little bit closer, but not that much closer from New York to Baltimore when you're coming in at an angle. So I really think that Virgin needs to adjust their time frame for when they depart so we can get into the port while the port's still open and have some things to do before everything shuts down. The Royal Dockyard's really cool port. There's a lot of stuff to do there when it's open, but it's far away from Hamilton. It's about a 30-minute drive or taxi ride into Hamilton. They do have a ferry that takes about 15 minutes, but the ferry closes at 6 o'clock on the weekends and 10 o'clock on the weekdays. But we were there on a Sunday and left on a Monday, so again, we got caught up at the 6 o'clock hour. So that's really about it. Overall, I give my experience here like a B minus, maybe a C plus, somewhere in the middle, C plus plus. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Virgin. I gave it a second shot just to kind of see the ships. They're not designed for entertainment. They miss a lot on here. This stuff doesn't bother me, but I let people live how they live. But if you have some issues with drag queens, if you have issues with same-sex kissing and whatever, like displays of affection, stuff like that, you're going to see a lot of that here. So if that's going to bother you, just not the cruise for you. I literally saw two guys. They were at the pajama party. They wore dog masks, like neoprene and tire dog masks, and they were trying to kiss through the dog mask. There's a guy that was wearing some kind of sheer robe thing, and he had like lights all over him, and they had something in his hair with lights on it, and he walked in the middle of the trivia, and the host for the trivia was like, "Hey, that's pretty cool. It's like you look like a Christmas tree," right? He's being fun and trying to pay like a compliment, and the guy's like, "Bitch, I am sparkling fairy dust," and then walked out. I was like, "Oh," but that's the stuff that you're going to see stuff here. So if it's going to bother you, just let it be. Just don't come. I just let stuff be. People be who they want to be. They pay to get on here, just like I pay to get on here and stuff like that. But so if you haven't been on a Virgin cruise before and you're thinking about it, that's just, let me help you out right now. If that's going to be an issue, go with like somebody else. But overall, that's kind of where I feel at for the ship. So if you're coming on the Brilliant Lady, I hope you have a good time. The staff will take good care of you. The cabin's good. It's just if you're about being entertained, you're going to be disappointed. So yeah, unless you like waiting in lines and being in crowds, then you'll be at home. So, but if you have any questions about the Brilliant Lady, let me know. I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on it and help you out. I know some people are going to disagree with me. Some people are going to agree with me. On the Facebook page, there's dozens and dozens of people that are talking about how disappointed they are, using words like underwhelming, disappointed, extremely disappointed, sad, discouraged. Those kind of be like, I haven't seen too many people saying that this is a fantastic experience. So just take that with a grain of salt. But if you do have any questions, put it in the comments. If you're on this cruise with me, let me know what your thoughts are. I try to give the grace for it being a maiden voyage, but the ship doesn't need grace and the entertainment doesn't need grace because, well, they can just copy it from the other ships, which they have, and that's why it still sucks. But until next time, I will see you next trip.